So if you've been around in any Destiny Discords lately, you'd probably notice that there's been a lot of debate over primary weapon DPS. There are a lot of claims being thrown around, a lot of misinformation spread, and a lot of testing on Carl, which you should not be doing. A while back, I made a video on hierarchy of needs and how it was the highest primary DPS in the game. Today, I'm going to do some damage testing as I usually do, and try and get some concrete evidence for where all of our primary DPS ranks. I'm going to test 4 new things to drop on our primary DPS rankings, those being Revision 0 with 4 pull and 4th times, Hierarchy of Needs with no distance between you and the boss, Wishender, and Quicksilver Storm with the speed fire tag. First up is Revision 0. Revision 0 in its pulse rifle form hits for 1434 damage per hit, and in its sniper form, 36326 per hit. Both of these numbers were tested on a Vorpal roll. To optimize the DPS of Revision, you want to fire exactly the amount of shots needed to get all 4 sniper rounds, and then swap to sniper, fire off 6 rounds of 4th times, and then reload. Lucky for us, a pendant mag brings our mag size up to 48, which equals exactly 4 sniper rounds since each round requires 12 pulse rounds. If you want to, you could also run extended mag to give yourself some leeway in case you miss, but you'll be sacrificing reload speed to do that. I'll be using the 4 burst mode since the 2 burst mode comes with less rounds in the mag by default and thus will require 2 whole mags to charge up the sniper rounds. Both modes have very similar DPS since the rate of fire and damage per shot are scaled by almost the same amount, so the only difference is the rate of charge for the sniper rounds, which is the same for both per shot with half the mag for the 2 burst. Overall, the time it takes to fire out 48 rounds with the pulse, swap to sniper, and fire off 6 rounds with that, then reload is 15.28 seconds. With Lunafaction boots, this gets kicked up to 13.55 seconds. Our total damage for the entire combo is 286,788, and dividing it out, the average DPS over each time frame comes out to 18,768 without Lunas, and 21,165 with them. Upon first glance, comparing this to other high DPS primary weapons, it sucks. It sucks a lot. Hierarchy of Needs hits for just over 39,000 DPS on average, and even the 2 predecessors, Touch of Malice and Outbreak, still rank over 30k each. Revision 0 may be a pretty solid GM weapon with its champion mod and essentially free special ammo generation, but anyone who tells you to do boss DPS with this thing is just pulling numbers out of a hat, because it's really nothing special. In fact, I tested the numbers for Hierarchy of Needs with no range bonus and plugged it into my old formula for the Hierarchy video, and it still beats Revision 0 with Lunafactions by over 1,000 DPS, sitting at 222.61. And also a reminder, all of these numbers were tested on a Vorpal and 4th times the charm roll, which is the best case scenario. Anyway, on to Quicksilver Storm, which is a little more interesting. Quicksilver hits for 1052 per crit on the auto rifle mode, and on average, around 1500 damage per rocket. The rocket damage was really inconsistent, hitting as low as 1300 and as high as 1700, so I just used an average for this calculation, since a difference of around 200 damage or so isn't going to make a very big difference in the end. Firing off 27 rounds with the auto, including 3 rockets, and then firing off the 3 grenades you get from those rockets, hits for a total of 185,610. Now, the reason why Quicksilver is interesting is because it has a bit of a hidden tech you can use to make it fire much faster than intended. When you swap to the GL mode, hold down your fire button and spam reload to make the thing fire super fast, and more importantly, it allows you to cancel the reload animation with another grenade load animation, instantly reloading the weapon and bypassing the lengthy reload time. This makes it fire a lot faster than it would otherwise, causing it to fire off 1 full rotation in about 6.95 seconds, and it doesn't even require Lunafaction boots. This brings your DPS to 26,706, which is still really unimpressive. Although it still beats out Revision by a good margin, it still ranks far below our original 3 primary DPS weapons. Quicksilver does have the edge over Hierarchy by being able to be used at any range at the cost of over 50% less DPS, but then my argument to you would be, why not just run Touch of Malice if you have it? Touch of Malice hits for 35,849 DPS, which, to be fair, is still lower than Hierarchy, but it has almost no damage drop-off over range because it's a scout rifle, can be used at any range, and the only thing it requires during DPS is a Well of Radiance or Healing Rift, and God knows we don't have enough of those lying around. Finally, let's take a quick pass on Wishender. 9.6 seconds to fire 6 shots, and hits for 27,352 per hit, coming out to 17,012 damage per second on average. Pretty much the same case as Revision 0, has a good champion mod and great at taking out grouped red bars and Grandmaster, but other than that, just don't use it. To rank all these little guys in a hierarchy, with Hierarchy on top, it'll come out to Hierarchy of Needs at 40 meters or more at 39,756 DPS, Touch of Malice at 35,849, Outbreak Perfected at 34,442 with 6 people using it, Quicksilver Storm at 26,706, Hierarchy of Needs with no distance buff at 222.61, Revision 0 with Lunafactions at 21,165, and finally, good old Wishender at 17,012. Long story short, Hierarchy and Touch are really all you need as far as primary DPS goes. Hierarchy is like that guy who always dresses in polo and never talks to anyone. If you let him focus and give him a coffee, he'll do the whole group project in an hour, no questions asked. Touch of Malice is like the dude that looks like he just crawled out of bed at all times during the day. He might be a little slower than Hierarchy, but he gets the job done and doesn't need any special treatment. Touch of Malice just works. As for the rest of these guys, let's just say there aren't many fans of these guns for DPS that actually support their claims with data. Before I close, just a reminder, we've got a day 1 matchmaker bot that'll automatically put teams together for the Lightfall raid based on experience and loadout, making sure every team has a good combination of builds and subclasses. If you want to, check it out in the announcements tab in my Discord, link in the description. Please like and sub if you like what I do, and I'll see you next time.